Found a heck of a deal on that one. Old boy here in Lincoln had it. Seen it on Marketplace. I said, man, that looks like aluminum block. My buddy sent it to me. Hit him up. He said, yes, aluminum block truck motor. He said, I bought a car for the interior. I said, well, I'll come get it. It was only like 3 miles, 4 miles from my house. I get over here. I thought he wanted $350 for it, so I just bought it. Gave him $350, handed me back $50. He said, no, you paid me too much. 243 heads on it. Had a wiring harness, had a TPSS intake and all, and smoking deal. Real good deal for it. That's how I like to find them, honestly. I told him, I said, well, everyone you find, you holler at me, I'll buy them. I said, you know, like that you want to get rid of, I'll buy every one of them, because, you know, we always need these blocks. I go through them, I'm going to be the reason why they've become extinct, probably. Oh, well. I got it all tore down. The bearings look killer in this motor. It was a nice motor, actually. Spraying this goop off on it, take it to Bo, let him bore it, line on it, clean it all up, we'll put it back together. Man, look how good that crank looks. Bo polished that thing up for me. This one right here had a cracked main cap, it broke, and it run up on top of one of these. They had some Babbitt on it, but it was smooth filling. Told him, I said, I bet that thing will polish out. So he went through and polished it. He said, man, that thing turned out good. All right, everything's tight. Put Loctite on it. Got it all back together with the spacers on it and the other holes. Everything feels good, so we're gonna ride with it. We got our crank, we got some bearings, piston down there, block back here. Let's get this thing busted apart, cleaned up. I swear I put that, when I put that freaking goop off, it makes them blocks look so good. So look how clean that thing looks. You should see them beforehand. Them things, it just cleans them up real good. Well, it's really good, actually. Cam bearings look good in it and all. So he's done drilled and tapped it right here for me. They knocked that plug out so I can wash the oil galleys out on it. Man, I'm impressed. Like I said, I use that brake cleaner, or not brake cleaner, I use that goop off. I soak them in every time before I take them. And it just makes it look so good. So we're gonna get it out. We're gonna brake clean everything, wash out all the journals real good down in here with brake cleaner. Pop our bearings in it, check our clearances, start putting this thing together. I was gonna rebuild this out of the back of the Jeep, but I didn't want all the oil in the back of the Jeep. So the first thing I always like to do, I like to take an air nozzle and I like to blow through all my ports, blow it down, up, blow everything around through all of it. But also, like, I'll clean it first, I'll blow it out. Then I'll come through, and because you line bore it, you get a burr right here. So I'll take a little round file. Don't judge me because of my file. But I'll take a round file and I'll come in here and I'll file all my edges all the way around it to make sure everything's good and smooth on there. Then I'll re-blow it out. I'll flip it upside down, I'll blow it from different directions. I'll keep rotating the motor. That way I'll try getting all this metal out of it and getting all the sharp edges off of the side of the block. The sharp edge right there. So sharp edges causes stuff to crack, stuff to break. So if you can take the little burr off of it, it'll help stuff last a lot longer. And then after I go through and I brake clean everything, I'll wash it out. Then I'll start pulling my caps off and I'll make sure I wash out real good around where all my caps are. I'll wash out all the metal around them, make sure there ain't nothing up in there, get it blowed out with air, back and forth, get everything just blowed out real well. There's some kind of a burr or something right there on that block. I'll look at it. Right there, there's like a factory casting mark. I'll try getting all my burrs out. Even down here on this drain back, you take your file and you file it and you get all the burrs off. You get everything. And there's the factory casting, you can see right there. See the jaggedness. You'll sand it and get the factory casting, them burrs off of it. That way it don't cause you problems down the road. That way it helps oil and drain back. Everything works better, everything's happier. So let's start by just going through and filing all this edge right here to get that burr. You can feel it right there. Look, watch this. See my finger? Hear it? Because there's a burr right on the edge of it from where it was line board. So we got to clean that off first. See what I was saying? Why I always go through and take it apart, clean it again, because look at that right there. The oil and stuff that builds up on there when you pull them caps off. I wash both sides of them after I file everything down, get a nice little radius on it. Then I go through and wash it again, blow it off. These main bearings, the side that has the hole goes to the block. It goes in the block. So this is the one that goes in the block while your oil holes line up. The ones that are solid goes on the bottom side. So lock them in. I always like to make sure, I usually take a razor blade and catch that little edge, I'll back drag it. We'll get a razor blade real quick, I'll show y'all what I do. Well, I have one right here. I usually catch it right here on this edge, and I back drag it. And the reason why I do that is because bearings that have coatings, a lot of times it'll build up right there on the edge and it'll snag a bearing. So I always clean that little edge off when I put them together. Then I'll brake clean it again. I'll buy a whole case of brake cleaner. When I'm going through these motors, I go through and I brake clean the crap out of everything. This right here is the lube that we use. It's a special kind of Molly lube. He actually works for a place that builds engines and stuff like that. So he got me this a while back, and we've been using it. You see how much we use. He had it filled to the top. I usually wash out this thing right here, and then this stuff right here is super slick, but it's freaking awesome. So if you see this, I need some more, son. Give me some. All right, well, I got the lower ones, or the upper ones. They're already lubed, stuck in. So now I go through and put me some more lube on the top side, and I'll start putting top caps in it. We'll torque it, see how it feels, go from there. Like I tell you, cleanliness is everything. If you look at it right there, look at the little dirt right there. There's something right there on that corner. Just wipe it off on my thumb, see it? You can barely see it right there. Like I said, that's the stuff you gotta look for. I brake clean all this stuff before I put it together, before I even put lube on it. But that's just stuff just showing y'all that even when you think you got it clean, still ain't clean. I torque everything down. I always hear a lot of people talk, you know, when it comes to like me tearing stuff up and stuff like that. They're like, oh, well, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. A lot of people don't realize with me and with ghosts, it's a hobby. This is just like fishing. This is just like hunting. This is something, this is not a career. This is not where I make my money. I make my money working on stuff like that. Not this. This is a hobby to me. Build my own motors, build my own transmissions, paint my own cars, doing everything from bumper to bumper. On my car, pretty much every part of it I've done. A few little things like the tuning, I let Nigel handle all the tuning because he's a freaking genius. And not saying that I can't do it, he just has the facility to do it, and he's the man with it. I mean, that's just all there is to it. Never hurt my car because of Nigel. Never hurt my car, other than the other day when that bolt come out, has been my fault. It's one of them things that just happens. You know, we're out here trying different stuff. I'm not over here with your average 6.0 or your average 5.3. I'm not over here doing that. How many people do y'all know that stick $1,300 aluminum rods into a freaking $350 block? Nobody puts aluminum rods in a stock block. We done that. Nigel done that. I done that. We was the first one. We were the people that really done that. We're also the ones that's figuring out the issues with the side effects of that. You know what I mean? Growing pain. It just happens. Fuel rail come loose. Oh well. You think I'm crying over it? Got a hell of a deal on the rotating assembly for this thing. Got a hell of a deal on the block. It's gonna cost me. That blow up was probably $1,500–$1,600. But if you was going to go out here and duplicate that, it would cost you $5–6 grand. But because I got good friends that look out for me, Jake, who hooked me up on the rods and pistons, you know what I mean? Like, gave me a hell of a deal on stuff like that. I'm appreciative of that. But I helped them, so they helped me. But what I'm saying is, like, with me, I build the motors myself. I tinker with this. This is stuff that, like, I do in my spare time because I like to do it. So, like, I still go home and spend time with my wife. I still see my kids. Like, I am a very active husband and father. But there's also 24 hours in a day. I'm not the one that goes home and lays on the couch, lays in the bed. I'm not the one that cries and complains about the world or when something breaks. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that gets out here and gets it. When I wake up in the morning, I usually get up about 8 o'clock, 8:15. I'll lay there maybe to 9. And I'm not back in the bed till 1 o'clock. I'm on it. I get up, I get it done. Get back in the bed about 1 and fall asleep by about 2 or 3. Get back up next day. Next day's a different day, a different dollar, different hustle. But I don't mind being down here on Thursday night. Shops closed. I've made my money this week, honestly. I made decent for me. But I don't mind coming in here assembling a motor myself, because that right there, 1600 horsepower motor, that's going to be going together as far as like what it mile an hour and what it runs ET wise. Very proud of what I build myself. If I blow that thing up next week, I got another one behind of it. I'm already in the works working on the next one. Don't bother me. No sweat off my back. Like, it don't bother me. Don't hurt my feelings when they tear up, when I blow them up. I know why they're tearing up. Most people speculate. They don't know why. Will they ever know why? They might if I tell them. If I don't, I don't. I mean, yeah, with the injector deal, but even as far as like the other stuff that we've done, as far as we've pinned LS main caps. We've unpinned LS main caps. We've filled LS blocks. We've unfilled LS blocks. There's a lot of R&D, research and development, that me and my friends have gone through over the years and done with the LS, and went a lot faster than most people have been with it, because we ain't scared to try something different. We're not just out here throwing together. I mean, we've had a K1 rod, K1 piston motor that freaking flew, that went faster than most people's high dollar motors. But we try different stuff, you know what I mean? But like I said, when we come out here and we work on this stuff like this, I'm not getting paid on it. I'm not losing money on it. It costs me a little bit of money, but I'm not in here. I enjoy this side of things. Like I said, this is my hobby. It'll always be my hobby. This is what I have fun doing. I enjoy putting stuff together. I was a little kid. When I was a kid, you can ask my mama. She'll tell you. If they bought me an RC car, I took it apart that day. Brand new RC car. Didn't need to be took apart. I took it apart. I wanted to see how the gears worked. I wanted to see how the motor worked. By the time I was 6 or 7 years old, I was building my own RC cars before RC car thing, racing and stuff like that was a thing. I was the one taking my little nitro, like my little, not nitro, but like my little Bandit. I had what was called a Bandit. I took the motor off a Bandit. I took a rail car, like a not John Force, but a Doug Herbert rail car, and I made them together. I made an RC car out of a car. It wasn't an RC car. It wasn't pretty. It backflipped. But I was the guy that liked to tinker with stuff. Like, I always liked to piddle. I always liked to work on something. If this was my career, it'd be different. But I enjoy doing little stuff like that. I like coming in the garage when it's just me here by myself assembling a motor. When that thing fires up, I get all the satisfaction in the world. When that thing fires up and has oil pressure and it's running, it's sitting there hitting a lick. That's what's for me. I take it to the track, it runs, it goes out here and does what it needs to do. Does it for me. Little setbacks don't bother me, because I know where we're headed. I know where we're headed with this whole hot rod, and it's freaking flying. It's getting there. So let's get this thing together. Let's get these mains torqued. So on this thing right here, we torque 60s on the inside, 50s on the outside, 25 on the very, very outside. So 50, we torque inside first, then we do the outer ones, then we do the side ones. Let's get it together. Sorry if the fan's loud, it's hot up in here, so I got the fan going. But like I said, the crankshaft turns good, it feels good, everything's solid, everything's locked down. So now I'm gonna brake clean it again, and we're gonna start putting these rod pistons. After I check I got to take each one of my rods. I got to check the top ring and second ring on it to see what the gaps are, and then we start assembling it. All right, we got this thing together. Everything looks good in it. Waiting on Jason Black to get here real quick to drop off a little smart car he wants me to look at. But we got next week's victim right here, looking solid. And our there's had some heat in it. That was the one that spun a bearing on. We had to resize. So a little bit of junk here, a little bit of junk there. It all worked out in the end. Should be a pretty decent little motor. Everything's torqued, rings gapped, everything's ready to rock and roll. So Jake ended up getting my head welded today. So I'm gonna grab it, run it down the bow lanes tomorrow, get him to deck it to the same CC as my other head, drop both heads off at Sunny, get Sunny to cut my grooves, just make sure my grooves are right like they need to be. I'll come back, cut my grooves in here. My head gasket should be here, and then we should put it in. So I figure Sunday-ish. Well, no, I can't say Sunday. However long it takes Sonny, whenever he gets it done, probably Monday, Tuesday-ish, we'll get this thing and get oil pressure, get it fired up, and get it running. So I know Tuesday's a holiday. It's the 4th. We'll see. Like I said, it's going to be coming down to the wire, just however long it's going to take Sonny to get me done. Other than that, we're going to be ready to rock and roll Thursday. Head's welded. The new welding rod Jake used looks really, really good. It turned out real good. Real good. So now I'm going to take it to Sonny. Sonny's out of town for this weekend. Said he won't be back till Monday, so I'll drop off with him. So hopefully by Thursday we'll have the heads back. But we get this thing together. I'm going to go ahead and this weekend I'll go ahead and time cert the block. We ain't going to play with it. We're going to go ahead and put time certs in. They come in the middle of the day. So we're going to time cert it. Going to get everything ready as far as that. Intake oil pan remain sealed. Flex plate. I got to get another flex plate. My flex plate, the freaking holes got watered out somehow on it. So got to get another flex plate. Get it all put together. I'll get it put in. I'll hook everything up except for the manifolds, the intake manifold. I'll go ahead and get the short block in it. Everything, I'll go ahead and cut the O-ring grooves. Everything will be set up as far as that. So as soon as Sonny gets me the heads back, we'll put the heads on, we'll torque it, fire it up, run it, warm it up, cut it off, retorque the head, and then we'll be ready to go. So that's what the plan is to get that thing done before Thursday, and hopefully all is well. And we got oil pressure and everything lasts for a little bit. If it don't, then I already got plans for another motor. So y'all ride with me. We appreciate y'all.